adoption, an animal that is, not a human. Everywhere you turn, you see animals for sale. The shelters are overflowing with new babies that are born each day. These animals need to be spayed and neutered and found loving homes. According to the ASPCA's website, approximately 6.5 million animals enter U.S. shelters each year. The ASPCA stands for American Society of the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. 1.5 million animals are euthanized each year that enter shelters. Is this preventable? Yes. Spaying and neutering of your pet and keeping track, chipping them, things like that can all help to return your pet to your home. A guest blogger for PETA wrote a post called Adopt, Don't Shop in 2014 on their website. 710,000 strays, they said, are returned to their owners each year that do end up in the shelters, thanks to chips or them finding them at the shelters. ASPCA's Pet Statistics article, Shelter Intake and Surrender in 2018, states that 620,000 of those animals returned are dogs and about 90,000 are cats. We may not all have extra money to help out, but if we could each volunteer some time at these shelters, these animals might have a better shot at finding a loving home. They sit in their kennels all day long in hopes of someone picking them. If their tail isn't wagging, if they're the wrong color, they look sad, they're often overlooked. If they're the wrong color, breed, those are the biggest factors against them. If they're black or a mutt, most of the time they'll be overlooked and not chosen as well. Creating animal shelter guidelines, selecting animals for euthanasia, retrieved from the Humane Society's website of the United States in 1999, if they are labeled aggressive breeds, they are usually euthanized unless someone steps in to save them. Dustin Rhodes also wrote an article posted on animals.org in 2018 titled Off Leash, Friends of Animals, states Chihuahuas and Pit Bulls, or American Staffordshire Terriers as they're also called, are often the most common dogs found in shelters. Benefits of adopting from a shelter are, Sally Jones states that in her article, Adopt, Don't Shop, a phrase worth 1,000 lives. Included in the Canine Journal in 2017, you are saving a life. You can find a fully trained dog. Some rescues know the personality of the animal. They're less expensive, and most come fully vetted with lots of choices. And adopting helps to fight puppy mills as well. Let me tell you about my story. We went to the shelter one day. An article popped up on Facebook showing us this puppy that was mangled. She was bleeding, and I thought that we needed to go see her. It was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. They closed at 4. So we rushed over there. She was sitting in the cage, real tiny, frail, bleeding everywhere. And they wouldn't let us take her home that day. They said she had to be on hold for a few days. I think it was 72 hours before, to make sure nobody picked her up. We ended up getting her about, I think 4 days later, we were able to go back and pick her up. Took her to the vet. She was diagnosed as being blind in one eye, having extra bone on her jaw and skull, and she was used for fighting. She was a bait dog. Her whole head was tore up. She was the sweetest thing, just loved my husband, sat on his shoulder the whole way home. Did I mention that she was a pit bull? No, because the breed shouldn't matter. She loves us unconditionally, and we love her in return. There's always a possibility that she could turn on us or one of my children. She is an animal, but I don't think she would. She's not raised to be aggressive. Also, we're not looking for another dog since we already have some, but sometimes you just have to open your heart and mind to be accepting of another animal. Opening your mind. Take time to look around the shelters. If you are trying to find the perfect animal, one day while scrolling through social media, that her face had popped up. And so, like I said, I ran into the living room, showed my husband the video, and we went and got her. We waited for the time. We took her to the vet. She was checked over, and like I said, she had the scars and everything on her face. She was real mangled. They were upset that they went ahead and had neutered her while she was in that state. She shouldn't have been put to sleep or put under anesthesia. We took her home, and she has been amazing ever since. That was last January, so we've had her almost a year. The perfect animal isn't always a designer dog. Most of the time it comes in the form of a crazy haired looking dog. Don't get me wrong though, I'm not saying you shouldn't get your designer dog, but keep your eyes open to a little pup in the corner cage that's sensing death is near. It might be the better choice for your family. If you get a chance to visit local shelters, even if you're not in the market for a new pet, ask to walk the dogs, play with them. They'll enjoy a few moments outside of the cage, and they might be happier the next time a family walks by, and they might be the chosen one. Thank you for listening.